one must say there's a great appetite amongst our young people for different programs that we offer pertaining to digital skills, and we've got career guidance initiatives that we undertake across various provinces so that we keep inspiring. They go even to your secondary schools such that there could be greater, even much greater appetite for these programs.
Welcome to the ITWeb TV. Today we're joined by MICT Seta CEO, Matome Madibana. We are going to discuss the work that they're doing at his organization, looking at digital skills, empowerment of youth in terms of ICT skills, as well as other projects that the organization is embarking on. Good morning. Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity to meet up with you and discuss the work that we are doing as MICT Seta. As well as your plans going forward. Just to kickstart the discussion, maybe can you just kind of give us a brief understanding of what is your mandate and what you are doing on the skills front, try and empower young people?
Thanks very much. We actually are established in terms of the Skills Development Act to drive skills development, particularly as it relates to digital skills, which if you check every research or survey that is conducted, they continue to be these broad digital skills gaps that we need to continuously and robustly address collaboratively with our partners. Our subsectors are about 5: advertising, film and electronic media, telecommunications, electronics, and IT. And those are key 5 subsectors, although we are a transversal Seta, because the kind of graduates that we produce as MICT Seta are cross-cutting. They are the nucleus. They serve all sectors of the economy, whether you talk mining, whether you talk manufacturing, whether you talk agriculture, whether you talk rents, whether you talk banking. It's one thing that makes us a very special Seta, which continues to grow very high, very much exponentially, particularly at SMME level, which then also gives us hope that it's because they've got confidence in our services. And we've taken a big step as MICT Seta in terms of our approach, such that we don't only produce graduates collaboratively with our partners or stakeholders. We produce graduates who do not necessarily go out in the market to seek jobs, but graduates who can become entrepreneurs in their own right, kind of graduates who can participate in the innovation space. So we're trying to inculcate a whole new culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. And what we did was through adoption of the triple helix model, and we adopted 2 critical strategies as an entity. The integrated digital skills strategy, which was developed by MICT Seta for IR Research Advisory Committee. What this strategy talks to and emphasizes is ensuring that we have early exposure of our young people, irrespective of where they are, to digital skills as opposed to latent exposure. It also emphasizes the issue of leveraging on strategic, mutually beneficial partnerships. That's one area that we're focusing on as a result of that particular strategy. We also adopted another strategy called the Rural Development Strategy, which is earmarking a critical area of ensuring that our communities, irrespective of where they are, in terms of reach, we have stakeholders on the ground, whether it's your TVETs or universities. Through these collaborative partnerships that we have with them, we are able to easily have a linkage with these young people across a broader spectrum in our country. And how we do that is ensuring that we enter into a memorandum of understanding with your TVET colleges, with private partners. I'm sure you know about Empire Partner Foundation. It's amongst our partners, and a number of many other private partners who come onto the space to say to them what we do with them, including universities. With universities, we even at the maximum level, because we have got 4 researchers across specific universities. Your University of Western Cape, University of Limpopo, which is a historically disadvantaged university. We have got 4 researchers across some of these universities who are actually thought leaders within the ICT space, and we fund their masters and doctoral students. Last year, we funded about 100 students across various universities who were studying masters and doctoral studies within the 4 space. But what we emphasize is we don't want them to only to engage in research and development. We say research and development, but in the process of engaging in research and development, they must ensure that they innovate. They come up with solutions that are locally made and that, if need be, they can secure IP. Hence, our partnership is not only with academia, but also with the industry to ensure that the industry comes also into the space to assist with issues of IP, securing IP for the products that or solutions that they would have developed. And if needs be, they be commercialized, and where necessary, we move towards a space where we can export some of the products that have been locally made by our students under the guidance and stewardship of these 4 researchers who are champions in their own right. One classical example is our partnership with TUT, Tshwane University of Technology. We also have 4 researchers there, Professor Pius. They developed a solution, an integrated learner management solution, which is currently being rolled out on different modules. They're currently rolling out the SSP module. That solution was developed by students of South Africa at TUT under the stewardship of this Professor Pius, who is an appointed for our researcher by MICT Seta. So the solution would be our game changer within the Seta space, because if you do a research across Setas, most Setas have got a challenge when it comes to integrated learner management system. So we're trying to move towards the shared service model such that Setas can use a common system that will avoid a lot of challenges that we are currently experiencing around learners who would move from one Seta to another, get a stipend from a MICT Seta and a stipend from another Seta. So we're trying to move towards that shared service concept, and the module that has been concluded and is currently being rolled out is with regards to the sector skills planning model. A module, and then they've also developed the learning programs development module, and then they will then be moving towards the last module, which will be a ITWeb module, a bit complex module, but the LPD module is also completed, closed out, and then they will be moving towards rolling it out and going from one province to the other to meet with stakeholders in terms of training them how the system works. A very user-friendly system, but the pride we have is even when it comes to saving. I mean, you look at how much we spent on the previous system that we had, integrated learner management system, and we spent almost 11 million. But with this system, we spent far less than 2.5 million with TUT. And if you check and interact with stakeholders on the SSP module that has been rolled out, they're very happy with how it has been designed. It has been designed in a manner that is more user-friendly, even better than the system that you buy off the shelf or that which can be developed. So we're trying to encourage and inculcate a whole new culture of innovation and entrepreneurship amongst as many of our young people as possible, so that some of the solutions and applications can be developed locally by these young people and be commercialized.
No, thank you. And we're having this discussion about digital skills at a time there's a massive shift in the world towards digital economy, which makes digital skills quite relevant and urgent.
Yes.
From your engagement and the work that you are doing, do you think among the youth there's enough appetite to try and take up digital skills and take opportunities that you present? And what are you doing to try and push them further to try and appreciate the innovation you're talking about, the entrepreneurial spirit that you want them to?
What we do, and one must say, there's a great appetite amongst our young people for different programs that we offer pertaining to digital skills, and we've got career guidance initiatives that we undertake across various provinces so that we keep inspiring. They go even to your secondary schools such that there could be greater, even much greater appetite for these programs. We want to move our young people away from the mentality of university, because if you look at the high unemployment rate that is there, you check deeply, you find that most of them are graduates who completed their degrees and are finding it difficult to find opportunities. So we're saying even those students who completed their degrees are welcome to specialize and take up this specialized occupationally directed programs, which gives them a better advantage, even with regards to experience, because most of our programs are such that you have the theoretical component, but you also have the experiential component, which does not happen when it comes to universities. You only find it within TVET space, but also within the Seta space, and it makes them very distinctive. I mean, if you look at the number of programs that we developed over the past year, I think so far we developed a total of 39 4IR aligned programs, which is a game changer because all of them have been approved by QCTO, Quality Council. So those are programs that the industry is in dire need of, because they are informed by the research that we conducted through our sector skills planning. And we do this research on an annual basis to ensure that whatever we provide in terms of curriculum is as aligned as possible and as responsive to the industry as possible, as opposed to providing the kind of curriculum that displaces and frustrates young people after completion. They've got nowhere to go. And we encourage even our stakeholders, even during the stakeholder engagements that we're conducting countrywide, collaboratively with the chairperson in other areas, chairperson of the board, to say to our stakeholders, when you build this capacity and facilitate this training to our young people, also consider incorporating aspects of entrepreneurship, aspects of understanding the basics of what a business plan entails, what an IP, so that those who are not keen about becoming employees can, in their own right, with the capacity that you've built, get into the space of entrepreneurship. And that's a new culture that we are inculcating instead of really driving the agenda of becoming employees when we've got so many who are frustrated and not finding opportunities in the market.
Oh, thank you. Just moving ahead, another issue that you want us, I would like to chat with you about. It regards the issue of gender in the ICT sector. It's a matter that concerns a lot of people, that there is imbalance in terms of creating gender opportunities for all genders. What are you guys doing to try and encourage more female participants in your program, in your training? And also, do you have any programs that are biased towards trying to bring more female participants in there?
Thanks very much for that. In fact, in terms of gender representation, most of our programs have got female representation than male. And just to give a classical example, if you check at the Empower Partner Foundation, is one of our partners, but we also have the Cortex Hub in East London, owned by Dr. Andile Ngaba. It's doing very well. There were a group of, I think, 15 or so females, only young female learners who were studying one of the programs within the electronic sector. All of them were female. So we try by all means to ensure that we change the landscape and balance it in a manner that has never been seen before, by accommodating as many young females as possible into the space. 2 months ago, we had one of the graduates right here in our offices. I think it was Phumelela Consulting. They were graduating for 3D printing. A number of those graduates have found job opportunities. SABC, just a year ago, it's one of our top level paying companies. It had about 140 plus interns that were being inducted. As we speak, about 100 or so of them have been placed into permanent job offers at SABC because of ensuring that whatever we offer at all material times is that which the industry is in dire need of. Optic fiber technicians, even the one I'm talking about for East London, with the Cortex Hub, they were studying towards optic fiber. So here, according to the record, about 23 optic fiber technicians were appointed or rather placed by Herotel. If you check the statistics in terms of gender, you can find that quite a number of them are females. 8 software developers were absorbed by SoftStart, 10 were absorbed by Forge Academy, 9 MDI Hub, and 11 by Phumelela Consulting. You check in terms of statistics, you're going to find that most of them are female graduates. So we're trying to drive this agenda, ensuring that we change the landscape, and we're deliberate about it. Even the landscape of MICT itself at senior management level, majority representation is female. So we've been deliberate about ensuring that we build and correct these imbalances of the past.
And if I'm a young lady watching this interview, what tips would you give for someone to get in the tech space? Or advice?
We've got very interesting programs that young people must take advantage of. I only think about programs that I'm referring to, the part of the 39 qualifications that have been approved by QCTO. I mean, things like data science, cybersecurity. Think about cybersecurity. It's cross-cutting in all sectors. Each and every organization must be ready and be prepared to defend itself against all types of cyber attacks that are revolving in the space. Think about things like Internet of Things. Those are the qualifications that have been approved. And then, sometimes I say to myself, I wish I was young, so that I can go back and start afresh and study some of these programs like artificial intelligence, because those are programs that we're currently offering as MICT Seta. And we encourage our young people to forget about the conventional programs that are there, like administration. The market is oversaturated with graduates who are looking for opportunities in that space. So they must take advantage of the kind of programs that will really change the game in terms of the landscape that we're finding ourselves in, such that they become part of the solutions in terms of solving the kind of problems that the society is facing. It is through these digital interventions, through these programs, that they can be able to come up with the kind of solutions that would really change the quality of lives of many of our people out there who are struggling to make ends meet. I mean, technology, in all fairness, it's basically an instrument to solve problems. It's a solution or an instrument that has been put there to solve problems, nothing else but to solve problems. So when you come into this space, you are saying, I'm taking a position, and a firm position, to be part of the solution to the problems that our communities are facing. And they should forget about coming to Gauteng to be part of the solution, because we are everywhere. Our stakeholders are countrywide. You go to Musina, you'll find a stakeholder of MICT Seta. You go to Tsanin, I'm just talking about Limpopo. You go to KZN, the most rural of provinces in KZN, in Peter Morrisburg, you're going to find stakeholders who are attached to MICT Seta. And what we do, and we're deliberate about it as per the mandate of the board, we allocate our stakeholders discretionary grants, small numbers, as aligning ourselves to the principle of fairness and principle of equitable distribution, such that we accommodate as many stakeholders as possible. And we believe, and we have this conviction that when we do that, there's better monitoring and evaluation, and closer scrutiny of each and every single learner, as opposed to when you have a much larger group, because we have discovered that even when you have a larger group of learners, the completion rate is even lower, which poses a threat, because you're compromising these learners at the end of the day. And what we get then get left with, we end up terminating contracts. It's not what we want. We want people to take up these programs, be funded, and have 100% completion rate of all learners who would have enrolled for program, except those who might have found job opportunities. But that's what our intentions are, and we wish to do more, and wish we can do more with our limited budget and obviously limited targets. We even apply for additional funding through your National Skills Fund and the UIF, so that we can continue to accommodate as many stakeholders as possible. Key to emphasize that we give them small numbers so that we don't compromise any learner through a poor completion rate, but also equitable distribution, ensuring that there's fairness in how we allocate these limited resources that are before us.
And as we conclude, you work in a high-pressure environment, if I may call it. You've got so many stakeholders to account and to satisfy. What are some of the milestones that you have achieved in the period that you have been at the helm of MICT? That if you say, this I've done, this is what we have done during this time, so that kind of have a sense of the work that you do.
We do. Yeah. Thanks very much for that, one, because I think the critical one, and then others will follow, is this integrated learner management system that we're currently rolling out, developed by Tshwane University of Technology, for the fact that it's a locally made solution, homemade by our local students, under the stewardship of our local professor, who is a 4-hour research chair. It's something that we really take pride in, and the saving that we made of funds that we eventually channeled to discretionary grants, such that we even cater for more stakeholders. And then beyond that, the new curriculum, having registered a total of 39 4-hour aligned programs, whether you talk artificial intelligence, whether you talk data science, whether you talk Internet of Things, whether you talk cyber security related program, we have all of them, because we believe that whatever we do is not for us as MICT Seta, it's for the industry. Hence, we continuously conduct this research collaboratively with the industry, and the partnerships that we've managed to forge with a number of private partners, because we encourage them not to entirely depend on MICT Seta, but to build their own digital skills centers, digital skills hub, and then we'll come with the funding in whichever areas where they find themselves in, including companies, large companies that we have in our space. We encourage them to do the same. Build digital skills centers across the length and breadth of our country. We will come with the funding to fund them, such that limited resources remains a reality, and still with those limited resources, we'll still try and cater for them, and continue to canvass for additional funds, such that our kitty is good enough. The other issues beyond by the way, the collaborative partnerships are beyond the industry. We also have these collaborations with academia, your higher learning institutions, TVETs, and universities, where we have 4 researchers whom I said are thought leaders. Part of why we have them is so that they build the capacity to these young people, so that they participate in a whole new culture of innovation, a culture of entrepreneurship, and build solutions, build locally made products. I think part of what our big achievements is just tasking these universities to say, we fund you through your master's and doctoral students within the 4 space. What's your return on investment for the money, limited budget that we try and accommodate to? And we assign them various projects. If you can check the number of projects that we have funded, and it's massive projects that they are currently implementing beyond the learner management system. So we continue to give them as about 17, I think, learning 17 or so sort of projects, FOIA-related projects that they've been assigned to ensure that they do their part and as part of return on investment. And then obviously the growing stakeholder base, our stakeholder base continues to grow at SMME level, because our board strongly believes, even the minister strongly believes, he's a champion of SMMEs. He believes strongly in us empowering our SMMEs. So we growing at SMME level at a rapid rate never seen before. That is assurance enough that they believe in how we go about doing business. They believe in our products as our SMMEs. Then the issue of beyond empowering our SMMEs, the turnaround time that we have. Look, we are from an era wherein the culture was a little different in terms of organizational culture. Response rate to stakeholder queries was not what it is now. Colleagues know we don't compromise when it comes to that. You don't receive an email inquiry from a stakeholder and behave like it is not there. Because I always tell them, get into the customer's shoes, get to understand when someone takes their time and start typing an email to make an inquiry about something, it means they really need to know. So you need to respond as swiftly as possible. Our processing turnaround time when it comes to invoices, I don't believe in this 30 days turnaround time. I feel it's quite a long time for SMMEs. So we do it even shorter than that period. My message to them, finance and learning programs, is very straightforward. As soon as you receive an invoice and everything is in order, process that invoice. If you do it within 2 weeks, the better it becomes for our stakeholders. So we don't have any backlog when it comes to that. We used to have backlog on certification. We don't have any backlog on certification as we speak, because we had to even try and go back into historical issues to see as to where the gaps might be. We have addressed those. And non-compliance, we are one organization that believes in doing things right. That's the bottom line. And my bottom line is just do it right and you won't have problems. AG 2019-2020, we got a clean audit. 2020-2021, we got an unqualified audit. With the only issue was on under-reporting of learners, because our stakeholders tend to not give us accurate information as timeously as possible, particularly when there are learners who exit our programs. So that disadvantages us when it comes to reporting performance information. But in the same financial year, our SCM was clean audit, our HR was clean audit, and our finance, when it comes to annual financial statements reporting, was clean. Current financial year interim audit, and we got about 90% in 21-22, 90% against targets that we've set for ourselves. Current financial year, we're moving towards a 95-96%, and we're going to achieve that percent in terms of performance. And we need our clean audit back regardless of everything. The interim audit that AG conducted, in every aspect, everything came out clean. Including all the necessary submissions that had to be made. And we continue to improve. Learning organization, quite small for a stakeholder of more than 32,000 people. But we were countrywide for more than 32,000 stakeholders, all the way from universities, top levy paying companies, medium levy paying companies, all the way up to your SMMEs and TVET colleges, your CETs. But if you look at the capacity, we've got less than 106 employees and currently working on evaluating the balance to 121. That would give you a balance of about 18. So we're likely to have about 122 employees, serving the whole country, more than 32,000 plus stakeholders at a single stage. When you advertise discretionary grants window, you receive more than 2,500 applications. That tells you how much is before us, and you look at how widespread the country is. It's quite broad for a staff capacity of 122, but they are doing their best, working tirelessly beyond normal working hours to serve our customers and change the landscape, ensure that we reverse these triple challenges facing our people of poverty, unemployment, and inequality. And we're moving in the right direction in terms of automating our processes so that our response rate can even be way better. So I think those are part of our achievements. For our researchers, that's a great deal to us because of the power of knowledge that lies in those professors. Most of them, have masters and doctoral studies in computer science, and we want them to transfer that knowledge to young people through the programs that we fund at your masters and doctoral level. I mean, just last year, we managed to fund 100 students who were doing who were registered or enrolled for masters and doctoral studies with the limited budget that we have across various universities, from the University of Western Cape, University of Limpopo, your university, your DUT, that's Durban University of Technology, and University of KwaZulu-Natal. So we're trying by all means to accommodate as many as possible. We fund these TVETs and CETs. So we're encouraging a spirit of let's share the cake. There are stakeholders who initially believed that they are entitled to bigger numbers when it comes to DGs, but that has changed to get them to understand that we are one. We are one Africa. We are one South Africa, and let's share the little that is for us so that we become more impactful to as many lives as possible. And we believe in our team. We have a very we have a highly dedicated team. We have a highly dedicated board, including all committees that presides at MICT Seta. They are holding us accountable left, right, and center. Sometimes it's tough, but it's part of the deal. We're doing our best to ensure that we serve them better. And that those are most of our achievements. And we continue to do what has to be done, my brother, in trying to lobby for even much more levy paying companies who are out there within this subsectors to come into our space, because the products show for themselves. If I can show you the number of graduates who got opportunities after having completed some of our programs, you would see how much the need is, how much of appetite it is for our programs. So we need more stakeholders who can even come into space with funding, because more often than not we get stakeholders who come empty-handed, saying give us, but we also need companies who can volunteer budgets, funds, such that we can co-fund for some of these programs, because at the end of the day, these graduates are going to serve companies, because if you talk automation, if you talk robotics and all of these things there. Those are things that are happening mostly in the private sector. And companies don't negotiate when they innovate. But what we are trying to avoid is a situation where people lose jobs because they've not been properly skilled. Hence, we remain committed and spend sleepless nights in the interest of our people. So we'll continue to make strides, my brother, to change this landscape to what it should become. And happy with the performance thus far and our achievements. I mean, it's a bold move to move towards redistributing in a manner that is more equitable, and then disappoint those who thought they deserve more or better than others. To say let's share and then to inculcate that culture of sharing. It has not been easy, but I can rest assure you, most of our stakeholders are very happy that they are for the first time being accommodated in our space, and we will continue to broaden our research and development initiatives so that we don't lose track when it comes to building entrepreneurs of the future, entrepreneurs who respond better to digital economy, the young people, graduates who will actively be champions of innovation so that we develop the solutions here in our country and secure IP with the partners that we have and commercialize this product. If needs be, export them at a rate never been seen before. We cannot continue to be recipients of imported products when we have young people with great wisdom who can participate in the innovation space. We are saying this must come to an end, and we must train them. Even when it comes to our TVETs, they must understand how to assemble most of these products. We are moving towards alternative sources of energy. They must understand it's part of electronics and it's in our space. Understand how to maintain or ensure maintenance of some of these imported products, your inverters and all of that. And it's our stakeholders who must take part actively in the qualifications development processes of MICT Seta, that we move with the times and the modern day economy that truly responds to what the industry and the world requires. And let me wrap it up at that, my brother.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, sir. Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll be chatting very soon, but thank you for your time.